Welcome back to the Get Set podcast, an old girls entertainment production where Neoteric meets nostalgia. Woo! Yeah! We are a podcast demystifying the idea of an overnight success while highlighting an array of diverse jobs within the industry with a focus on women in the TV and film space. Today, it's your co-host here, just your co-host here. It's myself, Jessica Payne, and
Monique Schwaneman.
Aww!
Today is our season 5 finale.
Woo! So exciting.
So exciting. Season 5, our final episode of the 5th season. How many more times can I say it? Okay, so naturally, it's an OG episode. And an OG episode means it's your old girls.
It's your old girls.
It's your old girls here. And this season has been absolutely packed with incredible guests, from board members to CEOs to PAs to directors,
Costume designers,
to 2026 Oscar nominees, to 2026 Oscar winners. We're so proud of this season.
Yeah.
We are so grateful for all of our guests on this season. And we're grateful for you for listening and for sending us referrals, because we're getting these guests because the pod has more reach and you guys are sharing it with each other. And yeah, we're so grateful.
Yeah, I just have to say,
Season
I'm so
5.
proud of us. And yeah, I think that, I don't know, we just love this podcast so much.
Love it.
So we're so excited. We're proud of this season. Season 5, I feel like we've really hit our stride.
Yeah.
All that to say, it's the final episode today. And what we're talking about is what you are telling the industry.
Yes.
I mean, I just have to say, like, since we've been like putting out all this stuff, I feel like we've been telling the industry quite a lot of good things. So,
and who we are and what we value as filmmakers.
Right, exactly. So what does that mean?
So we're taking it literally, figuratively, the vibes you're putting out versus what you're directly saying, what you're doing on the back end, and what really only you're seeing versus what the world is seeing.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get into how that's affecting your booking ratio, how that's affecting the depth of the relationships that you make, and how that's affecting your mental state.
I feel like that's probably the most important.
Right. Yeah. How to stay sane. So there's a lot here. And we want to send you off from the pod, season 5, in a great place before we come back to you with season 6.
Yeah.
This fall.
We're prepping. We're taking our break, prepping for season 6.
Yeah.
And we're not going anywhere. We're just taking a break, as always. You know, we gotta have our little like times to work on our own things, work on ourselves, and then we're coming back.
Yeah. And to get you more guests, because that takes work. It takes emailing and all the admin of it all.
We're getting very good at emailing.
I know. Okay. So I think the easiest thing to tackle first with what you are telling the industry is literally. So let's get into the literal of it. Let's talk about your digital footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're talking bios, headshots if you need them, which I feel like in this day and age, everybody needs headshots or industry shots in general. Even if it's just a photo that your friend took on their iPhone, that, you know, just so people can connect a face to a name, even through email, through Instagram, through LinkedIn, wherever you're reaching these people. Your email signature, your resume. So why is all of this important? And why is all of it important to be cohesive? As a podcast host, I will tell you, when we are trying to create our intros and bios for you, it's important to, this bio says one thing. When I Google you, your bio over here says something else. Of course, we email. All of our guests have been amazing and give us, straight information. But when we're researching to get guests on, it can be confusing. Like, what is the most recent thing? What is the thing that we should be highlighting or talking about the most? So today in this day and age, there are so many different platforms. If you're an actor, there's like at minimum, probably at least 3 platforms that you're using just for submissions alone. And it could be up to like 6. For everyone else, there's still Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, Linktree, all the links, IMDb. Oh my gosh. It is a nightmare updating IMDb.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if that one's out of date, I feel like it makes sense.
Well, and that's why, go to your favorite actor right now. Look at their IMDb. Is it accurate? Most of the time when we look it up, it's not. Mm-hmm. But it is important. It is very important, because that's usually one of the first things that people find or people go to look you up. And especially industry people.
Yeah. Also, let's talk a little bit about your digital footprint as well, in terms of your social media digital footprint. That's another big thing as well. I think that another thing we should also kind of like talk about is obviously you want it to be consistent overall, but if you're a multi hyphenate and you have different avenues, like where is it that you can put in your different job titles and everything? Like I think LinkedIn's a good one because you can see like the multitudes. I obviously think like social media is a good one. However, I do know that like to get a bigger following, it's better to be more niche. So, you know, who knows which one's better on that side. I still think that you can kind of like, you know, do it. But anything like an email signature, that's got to be very succinct. Even your resume, obviously, that's going to be catered to what job you're kind of leaning in towards. I think that if you, for your resume, if you're trying to get a producing job, you know, or I don't know, directing job or something.
Those resumes are gonna be so different.
Yeah. If you, I would like lean into like the whichever one that you're really trying to get, but don't leave out the fact that you're doing multiple things because that always helps. Something that we've talked a lot about on this season is that while multi hyphenate, like especially last season, right, that we really talked about multi hyphenate, how it's like a necessity now. I also think that we've kind of explained more in depth this season how helpful it is to be a multi hyphenate because you bring all those elements to yourself and people see that, people understand that. But like an email signature, that's got to be succinct. I think your bio should be pretty succinct as well.
Yeah. And I do have, as an actor and as a producer, I do have two different bios. I have an actor bio and I have a producer bio because it's depending on where that goes. You know, I applied to Women Independent Producers, that organization. I got in. Well,
yeah.
But I had to create a producer resume and I had to, make a bio that was more producer centric because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for active members in the producing community, which I am, but that I wouldn't send in my acting resume for that because I probably would have been turned down. So it's having everything up to date. And then also, like you said, doing the market research of, okay, on LinkedIn, I'm highlighting, this. On Facebook, all of my DP friends are on Facebook, or let's say Instagram's more realistic. All my DP friends are on Instagram showing their work. So I'm going to put DP first and then I'm going to put producer. So it takes a little bit of thinking about what your goals are, what is at the forefront for you, and then which network serves you best for that hyphenate of your multi hyphenate, if you are one, which you probably are.
Okay. Why is it important?
Oh, well, people are going to, if you meet someone in person, they're going to look up all the things. If you don't have a card that goes directly to your Instagram or directly to your LinkedIn or your email, something that gives them a direct one click, this is where I want to direct you. If you don't have that, they're just going to Google search you, or they're going to go to their favorite platform, whatever it is, and Google you. So even if you don't use Facebook that much, I think it's still important to have a presence there because a lot of people still use it.
Yeah, I also think it's important too because it's a searchability thing. So even if people don't necessarily aren't searching your name, they're searching producer because they're looking for a producer. And if you haven't, also, if like maybe you do come up because you're
friends of friends or something,
whatever, yeah, and your title says producer, but if you haven't, it shows that you haven't worked in 5 years,
and you have,
then maybe they think like, oh, this person's no longer working or taking a different path or whatever it is, So I think that it's really important to keep things up to date, keep it active, even if it's just like a post a week, just being like working on this or I don't know, still alive. I don't know.
Also, I think it's especially for something like Instagram or Facebook that's separate from LinkedIn. It's not just about business. This is about you as a human being. After I graduated college, I posted a photo. It was of me on set. I was a lifeguard because I had like years, over a decade of lifeguard experience with the city. And so I posted that, and someone who, one of our friends who wrote a TV show, I think I was SAG eligible. I don't even think I was SAG yet. I got my first recurring guest star audition because they saw that and they're like, oh, this is a very active role. I didn't even know she was active like that. And he got me in the door just by requesting me. I was in resume wise, I was nowhere qualified to be in that room, but I was so grateful. And it's because, it was so nice that he told me this. He's like, I obviously I remember you, I remember your talent, but you came to mind because you posted something that you're like an active person and I knew you could fit this role.
It's really important.
So it is important to, as much as we may hate social media sometimes and need to detox, and that's totally fine.
It's about keeping at the front of people's
keeping
minds.
Up appearances,
and
as they say.
Keeping at the front of people's minds in all the different ways as well.
Also, if you did a project that you were not particularly proud of, you don't want that coming up first as like the thing, or maybe you don't want that coming up first as the thing that people search you for and it comes up. But if you're in your IMDb, if you're, you know, having all these platforms that you do have control of, when people search you, those things are going to come to the forefront if you're active in them more so, and they're going to get more clicks. And the thing that you maybe don't want people to see is just going to keep getting buried.
Mm-hmm. I also think too, there's a way to be proud of your work as well, like in those different factions. Just because, I mean, like, yeah, maybe the entire film fell flat, but maybe this one scene was like shot beautifully and like, you know, you can kind of take pieces of it or whatever and, you know, highlight like the stills of it or highlight, I don't know, bits and pieces and portions of it that you think is impressive and was well done. I think it's a good way to elevate. And don't be afraid if your work is older, don't be afraid to keep sharing it and keep like posting, being like, don't forget, I did this. It was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, even if you don't have like fresh work ready to share at this moment in time, just keep, you know,
sharing what you have done.
Yeah, that's sharing your content.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of brings us to, you know, what the world sees versus what you know you're doing. Because the back end of it is so much more than what the world is going to see. And that's pretty much always going to be true. You know, these movies come out with actors like what? Anne Hathaway's in like 3 movies this year that's coming out. In these 6 years leading up to it, did anyone else know that she was like actively on these 3 movies? I mean, some people probably did, but there's so much work that goes into it in the moment before even the fruits of the labor come out, if they even come out. And you are, you know, on your hustle, on your grind, doing the best that you can, doing all these things. So
yeah,
how do we bridge that gap?
I think that, okay, yeah. So it's going to be different with different people in different positions in terms of like what you can share. However, I will
be wary of the NDAs.
Right, exactly. I will say though, like it's important to show people that you're working when you're working on something. If you're sitting there writing at your desk, no one knows that you're writing unless you tell them that you're writing. And I think it's again bridging of that gap of like what you're doing versus what people are seeing. Mm-hmm. And it's so like, and there can't be, it's like a balance, right? You can't be like doing all your work and no one knows about it because then like
they don't know how to call upon you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But then you also can't be like telling all these people like, I'm a writer, but you're not actually writing anything.
Like that. I mean, this is assuming you're putting in the work.
Yeah. Right. So you do have to have the balance. That being said, if you're writing, if you want to share like an expert or like say like, I'm doing this, it's so exciting, do a writing blog, whatever. Say you got hired to go on a set. You can like, I don't know, sometimes people share their self-tapes, like just clips, like even like without them, you know, without any dialogue, they just show all the different self-tapes they're doing. You can do like a going to set or whatever.
Before you even get there. Like we don't see anything of the set. We see you parked in your car being like, I'm so excited to go to set today. Or even if I know, then some of you are probably like, oh my God, well, I'm not getting to set right now. Our work has been slow. Fine. I'm going to a coffee date. Or for free, I'm going to jump on a meeting with a friend of mine and we're going to talk about the things that we're working on. I started a writer's group. I started a networking group. And even for, you know, the crew members that don't want to show their face, that's totally fine. Create a Blue Sky, which is, you know, kind of like the equivalent of X or what Twitter used to be. And so there are different platforms where you could just write captions or you could post an image with words on it if you're not comfortable showing your face. There are so many options out there to tell people that you're still working so that you do become top of mind.
Looking at the different platforms as to like what they're really
capabilities.
Yeah, their capabilities are like obviously Instagram's very like image heavy, same with like TikTok video heavy, but like LinkedIn, you can post on there like, hey, I mean, I saw today someone posted like, I am a producer / AD and I put all this like effort into the call sheet and it really bugs me when then people like come to me with questions without or like can be answered if you just look at the call sheet. And she was like, what do I do in this situation? And like the comment section was insane. It was crazy. It was so funny because I'm like, yeah, for the call sheet.
Instead of for the email, for the call sheet.
No, that's a running thing in the 80 world.
I love that.
But I'm just saying, like, there's platforms out there that you can like do, and you're connecting with people as well.
And that's a forum. That is like the old school, like how we used, like that's like the OG I am AIM group chat. Like, and that's how you also build community. It's so underrated. And even sometimes, like, I'm gonna be real, I don't comment on Instagram a lot unless it's like a close friend. But the times that I do, I'm just like, wow, this does feel like community. Or like this did go somewhere. I commented on something once and it got thousands of likes, and I was like, what the heck? And it was just because I commented like something real, something that resonated with me, that related to that post. And
I also think too, even if don't have anything that you can actually, share that you're doing or whatever, maybe because of NDAs, maybe because you just don't have quite anything lined up at the moment, you can also share it, like share about what you're watching, what you're loving lately.
Yes.
Like, share the movies, share the TV shows, like all of that is like a conversation starter.
Like if you were going to a networking event, what are you reading? Right. What are you watching? What stories are you most drawn to right now?
And I also think sharing the things that you like, enjoy and love is such a heavy, like easy conversation starter. And it's so nice because it could potentially go out to people who like work on it and see it. Yeah, exactly. And be like, wow, I worked on that. Thanks so much for the whatever it is. I think that it's just such an easy, lovely way. And also it's such a like low barrier to entry as well. Like in terms of other people who have seen it or haven't seen it are like, thanks for the recommendation. Or I watched that too. I thought it was great. Or I thought this was weird or whatever it was, like, so such an easy way. And it means that you're actively paying attention to the zeitgeist of what's happening in the world right now in terms of art and everything. And so it just, again,
means you have a creative opinion.
Yeah.
And you're willing to share it.
Amen.
Because a lot of times people can't answer that. Like, oh, what are you watching right now? Oh, I'm so busy. Like, I don't have time to watch a show. And it's like, okay, but how can we reframe that? It's like, oh, well, you know what? I haven't started it yet, but I really want to watch the new season of X, Y, and Z, or the Dan Levy spinoff of Schitt's Creek, which is phenomenal. I think it's called Big Mistake. I watched the first 2 episodes. I love him. It was
a spinoff?
Much. Well, no. I'm sorry. It's not a spinoff. It's his next show.
Okay, that's fine.
Not a spinoff.
I was like, wait.
I wish Schitt's Creek had a spinoff.
Rest in peace.
Oh my god, icon. Oh, icon. But when you think about
to bring everyone down.
No. It is, it is important to have those like networking answers, but then you can also apply that to anything that you're putting out there digitally. If you're like, oh, I haven't shot something, or I haven't shot something yet that I'm proud of or that I'm willing to share, then again, stills that you can share. A picture, I've seen it where, you're sitting in the makeup chair and someone just like posts a picture of your like sitting in the makeup chair. Like they don't see anything around you except for like, oh, these cute shoes that they had me wear today. Or you're just, there's so many options. But here's the thing. Those are the things you can control. And those are the things that you can do to tell people that you are actively in the industry, even if you are not booking every week. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to curate it to be in alignment with what you want for your career. Let's say you've only done horror and you want to pivot to documentaries, okay? If I only see horror on your page, I'm not going to know that you want to do documentaries. So then say, okay, I haven't shot a documentary yet, but I really liked this documentary. Post about it. I really am interested in stories like these. Post about it.
Or even just posting, saying like, hey, I've worked in horror. I want to work in documentary. Anyone know of anything or how to get into that? I mean, then that starts you up, because who knows? One of those people may be like, actually, I have a job for you. Like, come on over. So
I need someone who's not squeamish, who's done horror, because we're shooting in a slaughterhouse about farm stuff.
I think too, so obviously, like, it's physically putting the things out there is super important. I think maybe even more important is like the, not just the literal, but like figuratively how you're moving through the world.
Yes.
I think that maybe this part actually comes first in terms of like working on it if you're not there yet, like if you're not like succeeding in how you're moving through the world. And it really comes down to like how you're talking about yourself, your career, and talking about other people to yourself as well, and talking to yourself too about like what you're doing. And it's about being, leading with kindness to yourself
and others.
Again, I think it's just like being like, oh, I haven't done anything yet, or I haven't done anything in a long time. Like those like kind of Eeyore thoughts, I think can like really get you down.
Yeah.
But you can turn it and spin it and be like, I'm researching, I'm doing, like, look at what you're actively doing. If you feel like you're really not actively doing, then at that point, I think start actively doing. And we always say celebrate the small wins, celebrate the small stuff. Even small things are like steps closer to you getting to wherever you need to be or want to be.
I followed 5 new creatives that are really enamored by or inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
But then also like messaging them like, hey, just letting you know, like I really love the content that you post. Good. It's like not self-serving. You're like bringing other people up, but it does make you feel like, hey, I made a connection today. It's like someone in the world read my name and knows who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I finished 10 pages of that book about producing that has been sitting on my table for a long time. I purchased, or I went to the library and actually checked out that book on producing or directing or acting, or my favorite mentor that I wanted to, start with to help inspire me. If you're finding that it's difficult to, like those moments of like getting out of bed, just starting, just doing something, or that mental capacity and overcoming that, celebrate those small wins.
Yeah, I also think that, I've heard it many a time in that, like, anxiety and depression comes from inaction, basically. And, like, obviously there's, anxiety, depression.
So much to it. We're not therapists,
but
we're not.
If
things that we've heard.
If you have anxiety or like you're feeling depressed about your career, I think that it's probably more than likely coming from a place of you feeling stuck or feeling like you're not doing enough or
things aren't moving.
Or things aren't moving. And the best way out of that feeling, not saying that the best way out to, enhance your career, but I think that it does come. But the best way out of that feeling to switch things up is taking action.
That we have found. Yes.
And no, that's what they say. Is
okay.
Like, also just like with in general.
I'm just doing a disclaimer because I know maybe there's a therapist out there, and then tell us. Let's do a podcast up with you.
No, but it's true. The best way out of it is action and taking action. And again, it's not. Well, we're not saying general action like you're gonna go get up and work out, or general action of like, okay, I have to get up and do the dishes. It's action towards your career. If you're if those are the feelings, like you have a feeling of anxiety and depression about your career, the best thing to do is take action for your career. So again, that doesn't necessarily mean sending out your resume to 10 different jobs. Like it can be that, but that's very daunting. It can be following 10 more creatives on Instagram that you think are inspiring.
It can be something lower risk is what we're saying. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to
watch a movie and find something and it can be a stupid movie or a movie you've seen 1,000 times, but like finding something that you think is really inspiring about that movie or amazing about that movie, an element. Maybe the sound design was beautiful. Maybe the way this one scene was written was amazing, and examine it and see like how you can like, I don't know, incorporate that or
go to the credits and find the sound designer and be like, hey, I'm not even a sound designer, but I loved what you did here. Congrats. Because guess what? I bet you that sound designer never gets like reached out to in terms of like just a fan. You know what I mean? Directors do all the time. Actors do all the time. But not so much the multitude of people that go into making this film. Again, we're just trying to give you ideas. We want to put you in, set you up for greatness and put you in a good place.
Another thing too, in terms of all the like physical things that we said with like email signature, IMDb page, LinkedIn, again, just emailing not emailing, taking action to do one of those things a day. Maybe do a little bit of, updating your LinkedIn, your bio, and then you're going to like the next day on your LinkedIn, you'll do something else or whatever it is, just like those.
You got to create those benchmarks though, because then 2 months will go by and that will not be done because you're like, I have these 5 things. So picking apart, okay, I have these 5 things. This one thing is going to get done this week. These 3 things are going to get done this week. I'm going to do one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and one on Friday to give myself a break. If I don't do it on Monday, I still have Tuesday before I have my next assignment due Wednesday. It really is that student mindset a little bit just to get you through the hurdle of getting it done.
And sometimes too, like maybe it's looking at you're doing those things, and it's less about like the task itself, but being like, I'm going to spend 20 minutes today doing this. And then maybe tomorrow it's 30 minutes. And then the next day it's
Establishing
another
that
30
routine.
minutes. Yeah, starting a routine. And especially I think with like bigger projects like a resume or your reel or whatever it is, sometimes like just being like, I have to get this whole thing done is so daunting.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I'm gonna break it up into chunks of like, I'm just going to take, I have 20 minutes, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes on this, and then tomorrow I'll do another 20 minutes. And 20 minutes, even 10 minutes, if you have to break it up into tiny chunks, do the tiny chunks. It doesn't matter. Do it. Eventually it will help you get through that hurdle. So take action. It might help. And again, if you are doing those things, like celebrate it afterwards, being like, it's like not, did 10 minutes, there's so much more to do. I did 10 minutes.
I
Tomorrow I'm
accomplished
gonna do
my
10
goal.
more minutes. Yes, it's huge.
I accomplished my goal. I went out to do something. I set out to do it and I did it.
Yeah.
And so as we're talking about showing up for yourself, we're going to also talk about showing up for other people. We kind of hinted on it, like giving people their flowers. Is that how you Gen Zs say it?
Yeah.
Clock that.
Flowers.
Giving people their flowers. Give people their flowers. If you have friends that are promoting something on Instagram, I'm like a big fan of sharing my friends' work. It takes so little effort to repost something as a story on Instagram. To even say out loud, like, oh my God, I'm so proud of this person. Like they just did this and they're posting all the time. And I'm just like so proud of them. Even if you're true friendship and true advocacy for other women in this industry or just other people in general, like whether it's women or people of color, is talking them up when they're not in the room. And you have to be doing that. If you are who you say you are, you have to be doing that.
I also think it's like a direct reflection of like how people talk about others is how they talk about themselves, and also how they think other people are talking about them, if that makes sense.
No, explain it. I'm lost.
Meaning, if people are judgmental, or if you're judgmental towards other people, I think that it shows that I'm sure you think other people are judgmental towards you. Because that's how the world works, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you put out to the world what you feel or what you take in, right? So if you're putting out like, oh, I love this person's amazing, blah, 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 like, then that's how you're going to think the world is like talking about you.
Oh, it's like putting out positive energy to receive positive energy versus putting out negative energy to receive.
Yes, but I also think that it's just a matter of like, it's a psychology thing too. If like you are like, that person looks disgusting, more than likely
that's how you think about yourself.
How you think about yourself and how you think other people think of you.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
I just think
real.
Yeah, and I think it's important, and we see this, I've seen this in the workplace, in school, in anywhere, not just like the film and TV industry. It could be a job that's unrelated. If there's that shit talker at work, constantly shit talking everyone, they're probably shit talking you too.
They're probably shit talking themselves as well.
They're probably shit talking everyone.
So that's the thing, is like, it's about changing up the psychology of yourself. If you're thinking that other people are judging you, is it because you're judging other people? So rewire and like think about different ways. Instead of like looking at the negative, think about the positive as much as possible.
And there's different types of people, because I'm like really good friends with people who are they don't really call themselves pessimists. They call themselves like realists. But it's important to have a sense of whimsy, and it's important to have a sense of can-do attitude, of looking on it is important to see the logistics of things and to see, hey, we're falling short here, here, and here. We got to make this up somehow, but we're going to make this up, but we're moving forward instead of getting dragged down in it. And again, that negative talk, whether it's about yourself or about other people do take notice of it. And people are going to see you as that. When people are, especially in the beginning of their careers, when they have those dream projects, when they have all the eggs in this basket and we're moving towards this, do people generally add others to their team that constantly point out the deficiencies, or who build other people up, who speak confidently about themselves? Because that makes you someone that others will be confident to work with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I also think though too, you don't necessarily, I mean, this is getting kind of hyper specific, but like you don't want people who are only gonna like give you flowers and like just like, you know,
No,
talk
of course
you up.
not.
But I think that if you have people around you,
The can-do attitude is what I'm getting
have
to.
the can-do attitude, but also like know how to give a critique, right? It's that compliment sandwich. It's like compliment, critique, compliment.
And people take it better and people remember it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But also it's like one of those things of, I mean, I've always said, like, heard about it of like what you really don't want. I mean, I guess this is like more getting into the negative is you don't want people to take in a critique and like change everything and with like even the things that were like good because they weren't told about the good. But obviously you don't want people to be like, this is great, and then have nothing to work towards if it actually does need like some work. You know, you need both. But there's a way to do it.
And personally, I'm a very big believer in positive reinforcement, and educators for young children will tell you that too. And I mean, young children are just little people. They're us too. Like, I think positive reinforcement goes a long way, whether you're a child or whether you're an adult. Being like, hey, you're headed towards the right place. Let's work on these things and da-da-da. Or, hey, I love the idea of your project. I think you need some like elevated graphics to help grab more people. I know a great DP. I know a great photographer. Yeah, like look for places. Yes. Come up with solutions with your input. Again, it's all about support. It's all about telling the world how you show up for people, how you operate, how you're an active member of a team. It just goes such a long way.
If you start doing that for others, you'll do it for yourself too.
And others will do it for you.
Right. If you are, again, haven't worked in forever or whatever it is, like
if you start supporting other people, people will start supporting you because people see that you are an asset. People see that when given the opportunity, you support, you hype those people up. Action items. Update your digital footprint.
Yep.
Check. And you know what? Easier said than done. It's going to come with an assessment. So if you want to break it down into that first, assessment of your digital footprint. Google yourself. What does it say? There have been platforms. I've done it. There have been platforms and I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot this platform existed. Is it in use anymore? I don't know. Yeah. Is it in use anymore? I don't know. But if I Googled it and it was the first or second thing that popped up, yikes. Let me update it. So assess your digital footprint, update your digital footprint, reset those login passwords if you need to. And then set a networking schedule for yourself. So even if it's an hour a week, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. An hour a week is nothing.
We kind of glazed over this. Let's just take a second. The networking side of things. We're doing a lot of like digital stuff because I think it's the most searchable.
And it's free.
And it's
accessible.
broadly reaching, right?
Yes.
Potentially. Yes. But I think in person is like you've got to do it in person and get better at like I don't know, because we work in person, you know, it's not like we're just doing digital stuff. So
yeah, for filmmaking. It's also such great practice when you meet people in person to pitch your show. Even if it's like a best friend of yours that's heard about it so many times, be like, hey, I'm working on my log line. I'm working on my pitch. Can you pretend like you're an exec? And I'm just going to pitch it to you. They will give you great feedback, I'm sure. In terms of networking, you're going to set aside an hour a week or set your own parameters, 15 minutes a day, or like whatever you need, like 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever, hour a day. And from there, also celebrating the wins of other people, celebrating your own wins, reposting other people, hyping people up in the comments, and yes, clock it, however you do it, clock it.
I think it's this, right?
I wouldn't know.
Gen Z, what do you do?
What do you do?
I think it's this.
Okay. All those small things do not go unnoticed. We're old girls here, okay? And examine how you are talking about yourself and about others out in the world. Because that's what people are gonna remember you for. That's when it's like, oh, I just heard this person talk about their career, but she was like really negative. We see this all the time. It's just like, wow, the industry's fucked. And it's like, okay, but we still need to move forward. Like, we still need to advocate for progress. We still need to fight for more women in the room. Like, even if things are fucked, even if the world, like, Look at our government.
Listen,
even if things are fucked, we need to keep going.
Well, I think I understand that sentiment because sometimes it is nice to just like get it off your chest. But I think it's finding the time and space and the people in which to talk that.
Also, not having that be the only thing you talk about. Like, wow, this is really depressing. Get it off my chest. Because I really hope that one day the industry will be in this place.
And by the way, how are we making it? What are we doing right now?
Finding a solution.
Right.
Or thinking about this, or thinking about how we can be the solution.
Right.
For that issue.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just about, I don't know, like having that type of conversation, I think is not what you would do at like a networking event where you're talking to someone for like maybe 10 to 15 minutes max and moving on.
It's just being negative.
Yeah, they bring it up, whatever. Maybe that's not your person, but.
And I mean, don't hold it against them. It could be just the day they're having. They could have lost out of a job because it went to AI instead. Like it's all factored in, but it is important if you want to move forward to have, it's all about that perspective and that mental capacity to move through when things are difficult, which is more easily said than done, of course. But how do you want people to see you as an artist? Do you want people to see you as someone who is resilient, who is able to pivot, who is able to stay creative,
find solutions?
Again, you're telling people who you are in the industry, even if it's not, I just booked this. It's showing up as who you are as a human being, because that's who you're going to be on set. On set is fucking stressful a lot of times. So do they want to work with someone for 12 hours a day who is in this headspace, or, has a can-do attitude?
Yeah. And I think it really takes practice. It takes having your own mental clarity as well. Again, like you said, maybe that person lost their job to an AI thing, right before coming to the event. So there's that, which obviously that means that their mental space was not clear at all. It was weighed down by, plenty of things. But yeah, I think it's just going to be one of those things that you just have to, you meaning all of us, need to practice. That's just what we have to practice. Get good at maneuvering. Yeah, and take a step back and really, it's always about like self-reflection of like, how can I be better or do better, or how am I, what action that I'm like putting out into the world right now, or even like dealing with myself, is good, bad, ugly, and how do I like change the things that aren't serving myself or other people.
Go. Yes. And your last homework assignment. You're going to follow the Get Set podcast. You're going to rate it.
Subscribe.
5 stars. You're going to review. We're going to post a review, because that helps so much with reach. It helps so much. Also,
and share with other people, with your friends and your family and other industry people. Hey, you know what you would do?
You'd be a great guest on this podcast.
You could be like, reach out to someone who...
This is of service. This is being of service. Wait. Tune in. We're not done with the episode yet.
Reach out to someone who you think is inspiring and be like, hey, have you checked out this podcast?
I love it. Also, you would be a great guest.
You would love it.
Email getsetpodcast@gmail.com. We do read every single inquiry that comes in.
Yeah.
We do look at the resumes. We do look at the press material.
And it's just, most of the time, it's just about schedule.
Correct.
So,
and there's going to be, we already have some bonus episodes in the work between now and season 6. Mm-hmm. So, if you're not following the pod, you're not going to know when those episodes come up. So do that.
By the way, we really do always have bonus episodes that pop up in between, because usually it's because we're booking or someone has come to us where they have like something that they need to promote in a certain time, and so we want to make sure that we bring them on and like have that episode come out, so that way everyone learns about the project that they've been working out in a timely manner. Yeah,
even if we've like filled our docket for the whole season, we're like, okay, let's move this around.
And by the way, this season was the first season that we had like themed weeks where we actually put out 2 episodes for the week.
We've done it twice. We did an Oscars week and we did a producers week.
And it really had to do with like falling in line of
what are they promoting? What timeline are they on?
Yeah, exactly.
Facilitating their need.
Yeah, so it was really exciting.
Yeah.
Yay for us.
And we didn't anticipate that at the beginning of the season. So thank you for those referrals. Thank you, for the network that we're building together.
Another thing is we've been really a go on our crowdfunding campaign. So that's
For our
been like
feature.
for a feature. That's been like top priority, which is great.
Throughout
We
this
love
whole
it.
podcast season.
But
yes.
we want to make sure, because we've kind of been dropping this little bit, because when there's too much to promote, you'll lose people's attention span sometimes. So we've been curating what it is that we're promoting. But now that the campaign is over, something that you can do is head over to our Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment. And we have industry templates and exclusive additional episodes. So don't forget we have that, which is
always available
extra. Yeah, and it does help us out. Every penny helps our company out as well. So if you just love us and want to support us, do that as well.
We do this all for free right now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you so much for
being here with us for season 5.
Yeah, hanging out for a whole 5 seasons. If you haven't seen every episode, there's plenty for you to do if you're just now, getting attached to us. But
and follow us on Instagram at Old Girls Entertainment.
Yes.
And also, thank you so much to Kyle Hall. And we're gonna link his music below. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on YouTube. He wrote our theme music this season. That is now our official theme music that we will be using for the rest of the season.
Woo-hoo! Thank you so much. All right, now that's season finale wrap on.
We're wrapped.
Season 5 finale. We're done. So until next time, go
get set.